What's up guys, Syiler here, and I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be running through 10 of the top dragon mounts in my opinion that you can still obtain in World of Warcraft. Now dragons are very iconic in this game, we've been battling them since classic WoW, and they always make a return whether an ally or an enemy. And I wanted to run through some of the best mounts for dragons because, well, dragons are pretty cool. I will also provide a brief description on where you can obtain these mounts, and I will also be including cloud serpents as dragons. It isn't quite confirmed that they are dragons, but well, they look like Chinese dragons, so we'll take them as dragons for the sake of the video. So coming in at number 10, we have Drake of the South Wind. Now there's 4 different Drakes of the Wind introduced in Cataclysm, and I do quite like this model. It's slightly larger than the normal Drake, has this kind of lightning-y effect on its skin. The armor looks quite nice as well, and I went with Drake of the Southwind for a couple of reasons. First of all, I do quite like the coloring, the kind of bluey purple, and it's also a rare drop from Alakir, so it is a little bit more exclusive than the other ones of the Wind. So for those reasons, I do quite like this mount. Now this mount is going to come from Alakir, which is a raid boss found in Throne of the Four Winds. You can do that on normal or heroic, and it's on around a 1% chance of dropping. Next up at number 9 we have Spawn of Galakraz, and when proto-drakes were first introduced in Wrath of the Lich King, I was very hyped for those. I really wanted a proto-drake because I thought they looked extremely cool. And Spawn of Galakraz wasn't introduced in Wrath of the Lich King, it was actually Mr. Pandaria. But it was an armoured proto-drake mount that we could still obtain, and I thought it looked great. The colouring, yeah, a little bit too bright, but I think it looks really good overall, and the armour looks great on it. So it's definitely one of my more favourite drake mounts, especially proto-drakes as well. Now, it was kind of tough because I was considering putting the Ironbound proto-drake in this spot, as I do quite like that mount as well. But I don't know, the armoured version just really stands out from the rest of the proto-drake mounts, and was why the Spawn of Galakraz ended up on this list. Now Spawn of Galakraz is an award from completing the Glory of the Siege Orgrimmar Raider achievements. Do all of that and you'll be awarded with the Spawn of Galakraz. At number 8 we have the Lifebinder's Handmaiden, and I think these drakes from Dragon Soul look really good. I do like the updated drake model. I also like the fact that they're kind of made to look like a mini Alexstrasza, and that's the reason why I picked the Lifebinder's Handmaiden out of the 3, because it's the one that closely represents Alexstrasza out of all 3 of them, so I think that's quite cool. The other reason I picked this mount is, once again, it is a little bit more exclusive as it comes from Heroic Deathwing, so it is on a low drop chance as well. So not a huge amount of people need this drake, and not a huge amount of people want to run Dragon Soul for it. So it's why Lifebinder's Handmaiden ended up at number 8. The mount at number 7 was actually really hard to place at number 7. I was really tempted to place it higher, and that is the Smouldering Emberworm, because it just looks really good. I really do like this whole updated Nightbane model. I think it looks great, this kind of flaming skeletal dragon. I mean, I think skeletal dragons are pretty nice in general, but this one is a more updated version of the skeletal dragons we have, and I just think it looks great. So Smouldering Emberworm was really close to going higher, but the reason it isn't is because I only like this mount because of its visuals. The getting it was kind of fun at the time as well, I'll definitely say that, but I have a bit more of an attachment or a like to the other mounts, so it's why it ended up coming in at 7, but I do really think this mount looks great. Now to obtain this mount you had to do a speed run of Karazhan 5-man, the new mythic dungeon that we got in Legion. And you have to basically click 5 crystals, and then you'll summon Nightbane, and you'll kill Nightbane, and you'll get the mount. So it was actually quite a lot of fun to do during current content as well, and hopefully we do see more stuff like that in the future. At number 6, we have the Phosphorescent Stone Drake, and I do quite like the way purple looks in World of Warcraft, so that's definitely a plus up for the mount there. And also the way it's obtained is another plus up, because it was extremely exciting when you finally get it. Some people get it through luck, some people camp it out, and I was one of those people that just sat there and camped it out for hours and hours and hours until I eventually got it. And I just really do like this mount. Like the whole Stone Drake models are quite nice. The kind of spikes and stuff on them looks great, and as the purple variation, which comes from the phosphorescent one, I think looks really good. So to obtain this mount you need to find Anax, which is a rare spawn of a rare spawn in Deepholm. Eventually it'll spawn, you'll jump on its back, you'll kill it, and you'll be awarded with the mount, but that's not easy. Other people are camping after it, it's on quite a long respawn, and it can not respawn for quite a while, so It's going to be a tough one to obtain, and I think it's worth it though. So if you're after a mount to camp for, then this would be one of my recommendations. Now down to the final 5, and coming in at number 5 we have the Time Lost Proto-Drake. You can't mention the Phosphorescent Stone Drake and not mention the Time Lost Proto-Drake. First of all, I think the colouring is pretty good on this mount. It is also a Proto-Drake, so thumbs up for the Proto-Drake model. And this was one of the first mounts I got that I was extremely excited about getting. I found out about the Time Lost Proto-Drake in Wrath of the Lich King, and after that I just spent as much time in Stone Peaks as possible, leaving a character there while I did homework and stuff. I would even leave my computer on at night time and hope that the add-ons would pick up a TLPD spawn, until I got DC'd at least. I'd have my speakers in a specific way where it'd basically make noise when the mount would spawn. I'd hopefully wake up, I'd be able to rush over and grab myself the spawn. And when I finally got the mount, I was shaking, I was so happy. So it's just one of those memory mounts as well that definitely puts it high on the list, but I still think it's a good looking mount too. Now to obtain this mount you will need to go to Stone Peaks in Northrend, and there's a few different spots that it can spawn in, and you basically need to just hope that it spawns, and then once it spawns, you need to be quick enough to tag it, kill it, and loot yourself the Time Lost Proto-Drake. For number 4, we have the Astral Cloud Serpent, and there's not a whole lot to say outside of this mount looking absolutely amazing. It looks gorgeous. I love the whole kind of Titany star cluster stuff going on with the mount, the whole theme of it. I think it's really, really good. And then it's a Cloud Serpent too, which is one of my favorite kind of mount types. So yeah, the Astral Cloud Serpent looks great. Now the reason it's at number 4 is because of the transparent look. The transparent look looks okay in some zones, but sometimes if you're in like a snowy area or something, it just kind of blends in. And that's a reason why it's a little bit lower on the list than it probably should be. Just because I'm not the biggest fan of transparent mounts. But outside of that, in the right areas, it looks absolutely amazing. So Astral Cloud Serpent, definitely a good mount. And this is on a low drop chance from Elegon in Mogushan Vault, which is a Pandaria raid. The final 3 now, and coming in at number 3, we have the Infinite Time Reaver. When I first seen this mount announced, I thought it looked absolutely amazing. I mean, I already really do like the Infinite Dragonflight in general. I think their whole theme and, look is great. So a mount based around that I thought was good. I think the mount turned out great overall, the armor on it and just the wing effects and stuff. It really, really does look good. And then it's a rare mount as well, it's on a very low drop chance from any boss during time walking, so you can only have a shot of getting this mount during time walking events, and then you have to get lucky from different bosses from time walking, so it's not obtained by a whole lot of people. So overall, yeah, it's Infinite Time Reaver, really, really good looking mount. At number 2, we have the Island Thunderscale, the Crimson Chin Dragons that were introduced in Legion, and I think these Drake models look great, the whole Valajar Storm Drake stuff. And when we first seen those in Legion, but we didn't have one that was obtainable, I was so sad. I mean, you could do PvP to get one, but that was your only option. And I was like, oh no, I really wanted Valajar Storm Drake. And then they've eventually added one to the Paragon caches. And then in BFA, we got one from Island Expeditions 2, which is the Island Thunderscale. I do like the outline that they started doing in Legion as well. It looked kind of crap on some stuff, but I think on the Valajar Storm Drakes, it does look really good, especially on the Island Thunderscale. Really, really good on that Drake. So this Drake is going to come from Island Expeditions. It's a low drop chance, and you also need a specific set of ads up on the island as well for it to have a chance of dropping. So there's quite a lot of boxes that you have to tick to actually get this mount to drop. I mean, you have to be doing islands, you have to have the specific mobs, and then you have to get lucky as well. So, quite a lot of requirements. It is quite a rare mount, and that is definitely a big plus up for me as well. There is the Valajar Stormwing as well, which you can get from the Paragon caches in Legion. That's a red version, and it definitely doesn't look bad either. I just do prefer the Island Thunderscale out of the two. So, coming in at number 1, the Dragon Mount to take all Dragon Mounts for me, and that is going to be the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent. It just looks great. I think Cloud Serpent models in general look quite nice. And then we also have the Heavenly variant, which is a huge step up to everything else. It just looks extremely cool. I really, really do like that. And then on top of that, it's extremely rare. This mount is on about a 0.03% drop chance from the World Boss Jar of Anger. So you're going to be doing it potentially a lot to get this mount. So it's extremely rare. It's a nice dragon model. and it just looks fantastic. So for those reasons, I think Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent is going to take the top spot. Now, strangely enough though, I was debating putting the Heavenly Azure Cloud Serpent here. Even though it's a lot easier to obtain that mount, I still do like how that looks. Once again, your Cloud Serpent model, Heavenly version, and the blue coloring I think is quite nice as well. But just because of how much easier it is to obtain the Azure one, I had to give it to the Heavenly Onyx. You know, it's way more exciting to get. It's one of those mounts that you still see people on and you're like, God damn, that guy, he's got the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent. I want that mount. So for those reasons, Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent has to take the top spot in my opinion. Now I did want to throw out a few honorable mentions here as well. First of all, the Azure Drake, which was kind of close to making it on this list, just because it's a Drake mount that has been in the game for quite a while, but it does look quite different to the other Drake mounts that we had at the time. So for those reasons, I was very tempted to put it on. It is a rare drop as well. So the Azure Drake, you know, a little thumbs up to it. I think it's a nice mount. Especially for a Drake, you know, that's an older Drake model and look, but I think it does stand apart from the rest of the Drakes available. Next up is the Nether Drakes, and even though this is just a reputation grind, I really do think the Nether Drakes deserved an honorable mention, just because I think they've held against the test of time quite well. They were introduced in Burning Crusade, and even today I don't think they look that bad. You know, the visual effect that they have on the wings is quite nice. And overall, I think they've held up quite well as a mount. So, you know, thumbs up to the Nether Drake too. And then finally, we have the Plagued proto-drake. So this is a mount you can only obtain nowadays from the Black Market Auction House. And so it is, you know, extremely exclusive. You're going to be paying a lot of gold if you want this mount. But the reason it didn't make it on the list is because I don't really like the coloring too much, honestly. I was going to put it on because of the rarity. But, you know, not the biggest fan of the coloring personally, so I did end up leaving it off the list. So that does bring this top 10 list to a close, and let me know down below if you agree with my list. What would you have as the #1 mount if you don't agree? But overall, I hope this video was a bit of fun for you, and you've maybe got a new Drake mount that you want to go after. But yeah, outside of that, look out for more videos coming soon. If you're interested in joining the Discord server, there's a link down below for that. We talk about WoW, link transmogs, link the latest mounts that you've obtained. Just have a bit of fun about World of Warcraft as well. So you can find that in the description below. But outside of that, thanks for watching guys. Look out for more videos coming soon. See ya!